Welcome to Girl About the Globe, a podcast for you, the solo female traveller, empowering women to travel solo with maximum adventure, minimum impact. Today I want to talk about what's happening in the world at the moment, and with many borders closed, we are finding ourselves in an unprecedented time of lockdown and uncertainty. So travel to us now means something different to what it meant before. Even travelling outside to get some fresh air for many of us is now restricted. So in this moment when we can't travel, I want to talk about what we can do instead. So for this podcast episode, I've compiled a list of things we can do when we're grounded. Stay tuned. For number one, it's ground, so stay grounded. And I'm not just talking about physically either. Although much of the world is grounded at the moment, it's really important for us to keep ourselves mentally grounded, especially in times of stress and chaos. Now is the time to really look after yourself, especially if you're not able to get out. And it's all about self-care, which I think many of us forget to do in this ever-moving world. So whether that's downloading an app, Headspace has lots of different meditations and is an amazing app, or you can listen to free guided meditations on YouTube, or just sit quietly for a few minutes every day just to help us stay on track mentally. If you have a terrace or a garden, get out into the garden as well and just sit in nature and do some deep breathing at the moment. The second one is read. With so much time on our hands at the moment, then why not just get inspired, buy some travel books and read about destinations or stories connected to destinations to get you inspired again. You could read about the next destination that you want to travel to, or even one that you've just been to. A humorous fiction book, a historical account of a period in our civilization, or a factual travel book such as Rough Guides or Lonely Planet to entice you to certain destinations. Reading is just enriching and can also be very educational. The third one is watch. So get inspired with videos and movies. Watch movies on the destinations of your choice. Videos from vloggers, maybe find your favourite vlogger who's been to a country that you want to go to, or just factual documentaries about the history of a destination. Next one is cook. So if you do have access to food at the moment, then maybe you can try and cook that amazing pad thai that you had on a Thai beach. Obviously, it's not going to be the same as the real thing, or maybe it would be even better. But why don't you just try and create it at home? Whether it's a Moroccan chicken tagine or a Tuscan bean soup, cooking can also be very therapeutic. And because you're concentrating on what you're doing in that moment, it takes your mind off what's actually happening in the outside world as well. So download a recipe, or you can probably buy a cookery book on your Kindle from your favourite destination and get creative in the kitchen. You never know, you might soon be cooking like a professional. The next one is learn. So if you are planning on visiting Europe at some point, then why not learn some basic phrases of French, Spanish or Portuguese? Also, if you're going to South America, Spanish and Portuguese are very useful languages as well. Also for parts of Africa. Maybe you've always had a secret desire to learn Mandarin, and now is as good a time as any to start learning it. You can do it in just 5 minutes a day, and there are plenty of free apps such as Duolingo to get you started. If you want to practice your language and improve on your conversational skills, you could even join a platform such as Conversation Exchange for virtual conversations in your chosen language. You really don't need to leave home to do it. And maybe if learning a language just seems a little bit too difficult, then there are plenty of free courses on Udemy to learn a new skill in the meantime. That's spelled Udemy, and if you just go in the search box and just type in free, it will bring you a list of hundreds of free courses. So I've downloaded a few to teach myself some new skills in the meantime. The next one is organise. Now is a good time to organise your travel wardrobe for your next trip, or sort out your loft or your attic, spring clean your house, recycle anything, put it to one side. If you're not allowed out at the moment, consider donating it to a high street shop or to a charity such as the Rowan's Hospice when you can get out. You could also look at everything that you own and just get rid of anything that you no longer want or need, and then put it to one side again to sell it on a platform such as Gumtree to put the money towards your next trip. Share. As Travel is one of our favourite topics. We all love sharing our stories and tips with others, and just because we can't travel physically doesn't mean that we can't travel visually. So use this time to share your travel tips with other people, whether that's your favourite destination, your best experiences, or your solo tips. If you haven't travelled, you can still share tips about where you live. So, for example, if somebody came to your hometown or city, what would you recommend that they do? You can share all in our Facebook community, and I'll be putting the link at the bottom. It's Girls About the Globe. Or you can use the hashtag Girls About the Globe on Instagram with your favourite pictures and tips. The next one is move. Moving our body is not only good for our body, but also good for our mental health, which is so vital at the moment. If you can get out and run, if you're allowed to get out once a day, then just get out and run, or even just go for a walk daily just to get some fresh air and just to get some nature. There are lots of virtual classes too, so you don't even need to go out to move your body. There's Pilates, boxing, Tai Chi, and of course yoga. So you could even take up a yoga challenge and commit to the practice every day. If you've always fancied learning the tango, you can also find a YouTube channel and just practice the basics at home. You could do salsa, hip hop. There's just everything and anything that you ever want to learn on YouTube. So make it fun, and you'll soon be prepared for your next trip to Argentina. Plan. Just because you're not traveling doesn't mean that you can't plan any travel. I know most of us are finding it very difficult to focus at the moment, but those elements of time when we can focus, maybe now is a good opportunity to look at destinations that we may never have thought of before. If you love skiing, instead of looking at the Alps, maybe look at Bulgaria. If you love history, then maybe do some research on a trip along the Silk Road in Uzbekistan. Or maybe you just love drinking wine, and following a wine tasting trail in Argentina or Chile sounds right up your street. So don't let this time stop you from planning a trip and researching more about a destination. And you'll be able to plan your dream trip at the moment because you have more time to actually consider where you're going and look at new destinations that you may never have even thought of. Save. If your income hasn't been affected, then maybe now's a good time to get your finances organised. See where you can afford to go in the future, or if you can't afford to go away later on in the year, what steps can you take now to make it into a reality? Are there any jobs that you can do online to earn extra money? Even filling out surveys can give you some extra money off online platforms and extra cash. Also, if you are finding that you don't have much money at the moment because you've lost your job or your hours have been reduced, then see if you can utilise some of your skills. Can you put any of your services on platforms such as Upwork and Fiverr? Right. They say that there is a book in every one of us, but even if you don't have the intention to write a book, using a good old-fashioned pen and notepad can help us to process our thoughts during this time of chaos. If you are feeling out of sorts, it is perfectly normal, but try automatic writing where you connect to your pen and paper and just allow yourself to write no matter what comes out. You might even want to write a story about your solo travels or even start writing a book. There's a website called NaNoWriMo. The best thing about NaNoWriMo is knowing that other people are also working towards a goal at the same time. Okay, connect. So you don't have to go to another country to make international friends. Join a Facebook community such as our Girls About the Globe Facebook group and make friends online with other nationalities. They may inspire you to travel somewhere that you hadn't thought of, or you may even develop a connection and find potential travel buddies for future trips. There might even be a specific group, and there's so many groups on Facebook now, there's bound to be a specific Facebook group for an interest that you have, such as wanting to lead a nomadic life, anything that you want to do to search for a community on Facebook. And with millions of us on it, there are so many new connections to be had. And so I hope that these tips help, and use this time wisely, and just remember to keep grounded. Thanks for listening to our Girl About the Globe podcast, making solo travel easier for you. Find everything that you need for your solo travels at girlabouttheglobe.com, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode.